Well, here we are again, folks. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. Do you know that we're going to call this excerpt right here tragedy or travesty? There can be tragedies in life that cause your life to be a travesty, to be totally messed up, confused, and have literal travestic problems. And by not observing the will and way that God has given you can cause you to have travesties in your life that you wouldn't have following the Lord. Another thing is, if you are following the Lord and a travesty comes along, you know how to handle it. You can put it in the hands of the Lord. I have some man-made travesties in my life that I made. And because I did, the tragicness of those travesties can be looked at as hindsight. I can see back why they're here, why they are what they are, and how they happened, and how I allowed some to happen, and how some just happened, and there was nothing you could do about it. And no matter how good you pay attention on the road, you can still have an accident. You can be the guy paying the most attention of anybody on the road, anywhere whatsoever, and still somebody can come out of nowhere, it seems like, and wham, they hit you. And you say, man, I fight all day, every day to avoid such a thing happening to me, and it happened. So it can happen. But tomorrow's tragedies can be foreseen in many lives. I had a man tell me one time, a young man, I work with a lot of people, I have for years. This was several years ago. I'm working with this young man. He has a wife, 4 children, a nice car, nice house. And they got on a system, working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. He worked one shift, she worked the other. They were going to pile up some money and be the everlastingly American, happy American family. And my statement was to him 2 things. You quit coming to church because you're working too hard. The next thing I see in the yard is a boat. The next thing I see in the yard is a camper. The next thing I see in the yard is an expensive toy, 4-wheeler, motorcycle, things. And I pull up to the man's yard and it's full of toys. There's no time for God. There's no time to spend with your wife. There's no time to spend with your children. But what little time you have, the devil has put in your eyes that you need to fill it with some type of personal pleasure that personally fulfills you because you work to death, overworked, and you say, I deserve a few minutes. But I'm going to tell you what, if there's ever a bell or a whistle or a sign go off, it's when you start thinking only of yourself. You ought to hear that bell go off. If you got 4 children, your duty is to those children, not to yourself. By the way, when you fulfill the commission God gave you with your children, your precious time and good time will be the time you spend with your children. Do you know what love to a child is? To a child, love is T-I-M-E, time. Daddy spent time with me. Mama spent time with me. My biggest travesty in life, and we're talking about travesty, the tragicness of travesty is that I have children that say to me, Dad, you worked too many hours. You did not spend quality time with us. And I didn't. It's a travesty, but I didn't. And another thing I did, not only did all my time go to work, but when I wasn't working, I put too much time in the bus ministry, in the church, in the things, and not enough time in my own personal children. And they feel bad about that. Now, I hear it from them every now and then. Hey, could you not spend a little more time with us? I could have, and should have, and had it to do over again, I would pray and hope that I would have done that. And therefore, I have some children, by the way, right now, that I spend in time with their children. They spend time with their children. Because of my failure, and they saw it, they're spending time, quality time with their children, which is good. They broke the chain that I had. Now, you say, well, did you have an excuse, Brother Peter, for your situation? Yes, I had an excuse. I'm a single man making a living for 6 children and a wife. She was a homemaker, and she was doing all she could do to make the home it was. By the way, we were poor. We lived in a little bitty house. We packed in with 2 bedrooms and 6 children, and a man and a woman in 1 bedroom, 6 children in another bedroom, and then a little offshoot room that we made into a bedroom. And I had to make the dining room into a sleeping quarters. And they didn't make it a real bedroom, but it made it a room being used for a bedroom. And so we had to make do with what we had. We were happy. We were a happy family. Yet, we were off to work again, off to work again, off to work again. And here we go. And if we could put tune to that, it was a regular go again, go again, go again, go again. Well, here comes Daddy, but he'll be leaving as soon as he gets here. And that was pretty much the life that we lived. And it's hard to get regulated under that kind of life. Be careful. All I'm trying to tell you this morning is it's a travesty to look back on your life and to see the tragicness of too many hours of work and not enough home life. So get your home life back together. All right. Tomorrow's tragedies can be prevented if we will see them before they come upon us. We can make these things by living what would be the word here would be lackadaisical life. We can't live lackadaisical. We've got to put our action where our mouth is. Action is important, more important than speaking. We've got to be careful that we're not daily thieves of time, that we do not rob the time and waste it, but we put all the time that God has given us on this earth for this life to use, and use it for the Lord, in the Lord, use it properly, but use it to where others are being produced into being productive people because of the way our life is lived. And we should be able to be pleasant one of the